Yeah, I guess it started recording. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the first part is Informatica Power Center. It is an ETL tool uh, where you can extract the data and you can transform the data as per the business requirement, and then you can load the data into your target. The target could be, the data warehouse tables or enterprise data warehouse table, or it might be an operational data store as well. Okay. So next part is Informatica Power Center architecture. This is how it looks. Okay, in Informatica Power Center, we have four components. One is the Power Center repository and Power Center designer, workflow manager, and workflow monitor.
Mhm.
R means repository, D means designer, W means workflow,
Mhm.
M means monitor. Okay. Repository will have all the details of like the folder. It has a metadata details. Okay.
Mhm.
So this usually will come into repository, usually will come into picture when you want to extract some metadata of your mappings or your
Mhm.
workflow. Okay.
Okay.
And that is what you will look whenever you are looking forward for those details, then you will go for repository. Designer is it is a platform or it is a window where you can create your mapping by dragging and dropping. Like you can drag your source, you can drop your
Mhm.
targets, and you can have your various transformation, all those things. Okay, here you will
Mhm.
create your mapping, the designer part. Okay, and after
Mhm.
that, the workflow. Here you will create a session, and to that session, you will add to the workflow. And once the workflow is synced up with the particular mapping,
Mhm.
you can monitor if you want to run that particular workflow. Okay, you can monitor whether it ran, how many number of records got populated into your target, what is the connection details, all these things you can monitor in monitor place. And
Mhm.
the thing is, the developer usually will work with this designer, workflow, and monitor sometimes.
Monitor.
Okay, whereas
Okay.
it comes to production support part, there
Mhm.
uh, the folks will only focus on the monitor part. They will keep on watching the workflows, whether they ran or not. If they ran, how is the performance? All these activities will be taken care on. Yeah, and along with
Mhm.
this four, there is one more thing that here they have mentioned, but the icon they haven't given here. That is an
Mhm.
administration console. Okay, this is
Yeah.
completely different. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Okay.
how this Informatica will interact with the sources and the target, and how it will convert the data. That's what this explains. Okay, the repository will interact with the sources, the targets, everything.
Mhm.
Okay, it has, since it has metadata of all the data, right? So it has all
Mhm.
the details. Now the designer, how it will connect to the source through ODBC connection, or
Okay.
it might be any, like if it is a flat file, then flat file reader connections,
Mhm.
or if it is a messaging queue, then messaging queue connections. Through the connection, it will connect to the source. Okay,
Mhm.
and once it is connected to the source, after that the integration will service will come into picture, where through TCP IP protocol, it will you know create your mapping is created, right? That mapping
Mhm.
data is from source and dumped into the target using again the native drivers or ODBC.
Okay.
Sorry, ODBC. Yes. So like this is what here it is explained. Okay, each
Mhm.
component. Okay, so Informatica administrator is the person who who provide user roles,
Mhm.
access to the user, and the privileges to the user. Okay, like that,
Okay.
and it is a web application to administer the things. Okay, they can create the repository, they can create the folders, and they provide the accesses to us. Okay, some of the privileges
Mhm.
will have full developer privileges, and for some of the things the administrator person will take care. Okay, so here we have a domain. Domain is the primary unit of the management of power center. Okay,
Mhm.
one domain can have more than like one node. Okay, the
Okay.
and node is a logical representation of a machine in a domain. For example, see, the Informatica is running
Mhm.
on your laptop, so you can consider your laptop as a node. Okay, so that is
Okay.
how
Okay.
it is. Okay, and
Mhm.
domain is something from where this Informatica server is being installed, like the administration
Okay.
part. You got
Mhm.
it right?
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
If you got any doubt, you can stop me and ask the doubts. Okay, no issues.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
Okay. So the next part is the service manager. The service manager is the person who support the domain and application services, and it runs it runs on each and every node. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and next is application service. It is a representation of Informatica server based functionality. See, somewhere the
Mhm.
Informatica is installed and you are accessing through Citrix, right?
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
it is not the case here in our current project, but there are scenarios where the Informatica is installed on the server, and through the client you will be like the other the other persons or the users can access through Citrix or might be some web application. So that is what
Mm.
here it is being explained. And Power Center repository, as I said, repository, it holds the data of a data. That is
Yeah.
nothing but it holds the metadata of a data. To establish this repository, we have to select some relational database. See, the data of a data is there, but to store, where we will store that data? So we have to
Mhm.
select one more DB. Usually,
Okay.
in my last 2 to 3 previous projects, they have used Oracle as their repository databases, so that all the Power Center detail is stored in their relational database, and this metadata access is not provided to the developers. Usually it will
Mhm.
be provided to the only administration people. If you want any metadata of your data, then you can
Mhm.
ask for the administration to provide those details. They will help you out in order to pull
Okay.
those data.
Okay.
Okay, repository service is it accepts the request from the client to create or modify. Like for example, you have some changes. For example, you have created a mapping. Okay, in
Mhm.
between you thought like you want to change some joining condition, or you want to change the source, similar kind of
Mhm.
activities. If you want to change that, the change would be, it should also reflect in our repository relational database also, right? So that is
Yeah,
being
yeah.
taken care by this repository service. Okay,
Okay.
the
Okay.
next
Yeah.
part is integration service. Okay, this
Mhm.
what it does is it runs the workflow as per the instruction provided in the workflow. Like what is the target, what is the source. So by
Mm.
looking at those details, it will interact with those systems and it will pull the data. It will perform the transformation on that data, and then it will dump the data into the target. That is
Okay.
taken care by integration service.
Mm. Mm.
Now
Okay.
metadata manager service. Okay, so to analyze the metadata, right, we'll run some sort of queries. So those queries will be taken care by this metadata manager service. For example,
Yeah.
I said, right, we want our mapping like in a particular folder. How many number of mappings are there? I cannot sit
Mm.
and count thousand of mappings, right?
Mhm. Mm.
So I will go to administration team and I will ask for them. Could you please provide me so and so folder? How many number of mappings are there, how many numbers of source are there, how many numbers of targets are there, how many
Mhm.
lookups are being used. So all these details, they will extract those details by running a query. which is called
Okay.
metadata query. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
query,
Mm-hmm.
when it runs, right, when it
Yeah.
runs, it will hit this metadata manager service, and through that, you will get the data. This is
Okay.
how you will
Okay.
get the data. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is a brief note, about what is an Informatica and how the architecture is there and what
Mm-hmm.
are the different components of Informatica Power Center.
Okay. Yeah.
Till now, any doubt you have?
No, no, no. Nothing till now.
Nothing. Okay. So the next session would be, the detail, the simple mapping. I guess
Mm-hmm.
till we are not supposed to connect to the um, VPN, I
The
guess.
VPN. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes. So once we are able to connect to the VPN, I will show you
Mm-hmm.
how to create a simple mapping and
Okay.
how it will run and how it performs. And to that, we'll add one after the other transformations. Like what are the
Okay.
different transformations we have in Informatica.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Okay.
nothing
All right.
different, only the web page. You can, if you have learned the SAP HANA, it is very
Mm-hmm.
similar. Only the thing is the GUI will be different and bit
Yeah.
of here and there the running techniques would be different. For
Okay.
SAP HANA, it is a single GUI where you can run your view, you can, modify your view. Everything
Yeah.
is in a
Yeah.
single
Everything. Yeah.
platform. But here it is different. You have to create
Yeah.
somewhere, you have to run somewhere, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
monitor somewhere. That is what
Okay. Yeah.
here it is. That is the main,
Okay.
like, as a difference I found out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it works very
Okay.
similar to SAP HANA. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So with the next session, I will be sharing with the simple mapping, and after
Mm-hmm.
that, we'll add the transformation, and I will show you how to create simple mapping and all those. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So today's call
Okay.
will wind up. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nisha.
Thank you, Madhvi.
Thank you.
Hope it did not bore you.